Hello, welcome back to another video. In the previous video, we talked about list comprehension syntax, which allows you to generate a list with a single line. If you haven't seen this video, I would recommend you go and watch that one first. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Python's ternary operator. And unlike the list comprehension syntax, this ternary operator is found in other programming languages. So it's not unique to just Python. And basically what it is let's say you have this scenario where you have a condition, and depending on whether the condition is true or not, you set it to one value. If it's false, you set it to another value. So it's one or the other. In this type of situation, it might be best to use a ternary operator so that you can condense this 4 lines of code into a single line. So let's look at this example. So we have this grade variable, and it takes in a user input. So as we all know, user input is processed as a string. So we would have to take that and convert it to an integer. So we expect the user to input something between 0 and 100. In the US, if the grade is at least a 65, it's considered passing. So we would set result to P for passing. Otherwise, we would set result to F, meaning fail. So let's run this. And if we put in 99, we get P, right? Because 99 is greater than or equal to 65. If we run it again and put 65, we also get P. That's just at the cutoff. And if we run it again one more time and put in, 55, that's fail, right? So in Python, the syntax for the ternary operator is very simple. So you take your variable and you would basically follow this syntax. So it's x, which is value 1, if the condition is true, else you default to value 2. So what's value 1? It's this P. So P, you pass if, so here's the condition, grade is greater than or equal to 65, else the default value F. Okay, so it's this value if this condition, else this value. So let's get rid of this. Let's just comment this out and we run it. And we put in 95, we get P. And if we put in, let's say 44, we get F. Okay, so that's the ternary operator. Okay, so let's see how we can use this in list comprehension. So instead of one, let me just comment this out. Instead of one grade, let's say we're given a list of student grades. So we're given a list of integers, and we want to generate a list where, so in this case, index 0 is 84, index 1 is 99. So we would generate a list where at every corresponding index, we would mark P if the student at index I has a grade higher than 65 or equal to 65. Otherwise, we mark them as F. So here we have 84. We mark that as P. 99, a very smart kid, we mark that as P as well. 55, we mark that as F. Maybe this kid has to, maybe might have to take summer school or something. But basically, we want to mark each one as pass or fail. So we want to do this using list comprehension. And here's the syntax to do it using the ternary operator is you have val if condition, else you have your other value. So it's one or the other. So let's let's do it, I guess the way you're probably familiar with is let's create a list, and then for grade in grades, let's iterate through the list of grades. If grade is greater than or equal to 65, result.append P. Else result.append F. And then let's print the result. And we get the same list. So P, P, F, P, F, P, right? So how do we condense this? Well, first let's take care of this inner block. This if-else condition, we can just do result.append. So the ternary operator, val1, if condition, what's the condition? Grade greater than or equal to 65, else f. So let's get rid of this, run our code, and we get our list, but we want to condense this even more, right? So let's put this in our list brackets using the list comprehension syntax. So basically, you take whatever is inside the append statement, put it in here. So this is the ternary operator, and then you put in your for loop. And then we get rid of this, save, run it once more, and we get the same result. Okay? So that's how you can use the ternary operator along with Python's list comprehension syntax. So let's try the second one. So it's similar to the first problem in that you're given a list of grades as integers, except now we have these none values. So basically what these none values represent is the student did not take the test. So let's say this is the result of the final exam. The student did not take the test, so they get none. However, for the students who did take the test, we will maybe want to be generous, so we'll curve their grades by 5 points. So here 84 gets 89, 99 gets 104, 55 gets 60, none, the student did not take the test, so they get a 0 by default. And then 65 gets 70, and so on. And at the very end, someone unfortunately scored a 0, but luckily there's a curve, so they have a 5 now. So basically, I want you to use the list comprehension syntax with the ternary operator to generate this list result. And if you know you're not, if you feel like you can't do it in a single line, maybe you might want to break it down using a for loop first, then the if-else block, and then convert that into the single line, like I showed you in problem 1. Okay? All right, so how do we do this? So why don't we actually break it down? So let's create a list object, empty list, and then for grade in grades, if the grade is not none, another way you could do it is if is instance, grade is int. So you're basically checking one or the other. Like for instance, is this an integer? None is not an integer, so this would have returned false. So this is a type checking syntax. Or you can just say if the grade is not none. So it's one or the other, it's up to you. I'll just use if grade is not none. We would take result and append grade plus 5. Else result.append 0. Okay, and then if we run it, let me comment this out. If we run this, grades is not defined. What happened here? Result. Maybe I didn't save. Okay, I didn't save before, so make sure you always save your files before running. So we get 89, 104, 60, 0, 70, 69, 83, 0, and 5. Okay, great. That's exactly what we wanted. Now let's convert this into a single line syntax. So first, let's break this down into the ternary operator. So it's just result.append grade plus 5 if grade is not none. So option 1, if condition, else option 2, else 0. And then let's get rid of this. And we run this. We get the same list. And then finally, we just use our list comprehension syntax. So this is our value for grading grades. So grade plus 5 if grade is not none, else 0 for grade in grades. Okay, let's get rid of this. And there you go. We have the same result. Okay, so that's ternary operators and list comprehension with ternary operators. All right, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good one.